I have Amy. She's Alien Girl on YouTube. Just joined us. She saw us on Twitter, and she's you're local to here, right? So you just
I am. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, here in the heart of alien country. I'm so happy to be here. So excited. Tesla Tech Con is the coolest thing ever.
Did you go downstairs? Did you check out the?
I found myself directly in front of the Organite Pyramid display. I was surprisingly, I was shocked by the amount of metaphysics that's downstairs. I really thought I was going to just be. I did. Because I left it at, yeah, I brought you guys some alien beer from the Alien Brew Pub. I looked like a total geek coming in earlier because I was just, I wore my third phase of, you're an alien dude. Your name's Alien Scientist, right? Yes. I was like, I'm gonna roll in. I rolled in with a bunch of beers in the middle of the day at a physics conference. And yeah, oh here, yeah. So this is for you guys already. I'm like, cheers. I can't double fist. But yeah, I'm super happy to be here. Yeah, man. And I can't even believe that I made it here and we're hanging and we're chilling and it's having fun. And I love to hear all of the different stories and testimonies about what's been going on in the field for the last 75 years. And also just the major innovations that we've had just in the last 5 has really been insane. So I'm super happy to be here. Thank you for letting me come here and hang out with you guys and relax and talk about all the things that we like to talk about.
Yes. And again, if you want to come and hang out tonight, we're at the 12th floor in the Crown Plaza Hotel. Come join us and let's party. I'm here with the man himself who put this all together, Stephen Elswick. Steve, this is such an incredible conference. This such a collection of incredible minds, outside the box thinkers and innovators. Let's talk about let's just talk about this conference this year and how it compares to other conferences, and tell people a little bit more about the history behind Tesla Tech, because this goes back a long time. You pulled out a box of VHS tapes when I was down there earlier, some of the really older conferences and stuff. Just talk about all the great things that you've seen over the years and some of the highlights.
That take hours, but I only have a few minutes. But I've been doing this for 40 years. I have a bachelor's of science in electrical engineering in Colorado Springs, and that's when I started putting these conferences together as part of the IEEE 100-year anniversary. And we had a Tesla conference, and we've been building it ever since. Once we had a successful conference, and the New York Times published about it, we got all these letters in. It was like, gee, what are we going to do with all of this stuff? So we just started a permanent organization. And like I said, I've been doing conferences about every year ever since, and I do publish a magazine.
Hold it up for the camera.
Yeah.
There. This is the Extraordinary Science and Technology magazine.
And we cover.
Hold that up for them.
We cover all kinds of everything that you're going to find at the conference is going to be in that magazine as far as the type of technology and that. And then we also take and we document the conference, and we have these DVD sets, which you can go order from our website and that. And we'll have all the speakers in it, or you can get the speakers individually. And I think this year has been really great, despite the COVID panic that's going around the country right now. And it's been
it's done a number on the numbers that showed up to the conference. This has been, there should be twice as many people here.
Well, not only just the attendees, but also our staff, and we've actually had people, we lost members who passed away in the last couple of weeks, and we've also have others that couldn't come because they got quarantined. And so it's just been a challenge.
I can understand that. What was I going to say about the so I wonder about, there's so much technology and stuff being discussed here. I wonder how much. I bought a book off you this morning. It was the first book ever written on HAARP, and you wrote it, and you gave me you actually signed it for me. So I got a signed copy of the first book ever written on HARP. I just wonder how many like technologies that were secret were talked about. You know, they all get talked about like at this conference, and then like later on, it's they come out, or I wonder how much like technology's been, you know, presented here that's gone into Black programs, and how many people that have come here that just get picked up or recruited into these programs. Do you have any kind of like fun stories about anything like that?
Well, I do know the military is, what you see in public is about 40 years behind of what the military is really at. Like for instance, the lasers, the airborne lasers, I got to play with them here in Albuquerque in 1984. You know, and they had a laser there that shot a hole a couple feet across through a piece of aluminum about that thick, just like that. As soon as they hit that light switch, boom, and all you see was this metal dropping to the floor. You know,
Yeah. So all that Star Wars, SDI defense stuff. I mean, it's so cool that like a lot of that stuff comes out of these organic, you know, grassroots, you know, science and innovators that come to these types of conferences, which makes this such an awesome conference because there's such a variety of forward thinking and just outside the box thinking people here. It's really it's the conversations are just incredible here.
yes, and then there's a lot of stuff like, do you really think the government's going to give up the high ground? You know, I believe that they let the space show die, which I worked on, by the way, die to separate the civilians from the military space force. And I believe that the military is flying some of these alleged UFOs that they're showing on TV now. Because if you notice, they say, well, we don't think they're aliens, but we don't know who's flying them. And that would scare me more than the aliens. But I believe what it is a subtle message to the Soviets and the Chinese that look what we got, you know. So just read behind the lines.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. So this is what do you think about the speakers that this year and how it's compared to other years and so also some of the presenters and stuff? This is a pretty normal conference, or is this anything special or different?
Well, it's normal. The only thing special about it is that it's this year, and each year just gets, you know, each year is the best year, you know. And
Because things keep getting more advanced, we keep getting a better understanding of the stuff that even the medical technologies. I'm here for the propulsion. A lot of we're of course a propulsion conference, so my audience here is mainly here for the propulsion stuff. But there's a lot of other interesting science, including the medical and healing stuff that I'd never heard about that Royal Rife stuff before I came to Tesla Tech in 2009. And then just to see like mainstream, you know, medical science journals publishing, you know, peer-reviewed articles on light healing and light therapy technologies. Now it's slowly working its way out to the mainstream, even though these concepts were known about and practiced and studied by, you know, scientists and also people in these groups just for the past decades and stuff. It's incredible.
well, what men can conceive, men will build. And the main thing that's changed is we got new materials to work with, you know, and new knowledge of how the universe operates, but it's always constantly changing, you know. And if anyone tells you free energy doesn't exist, point out that a solar cell is free energy if you don't know to include the sun.
The sky, it's a big free energy machine right there. It's going down. Look at that beautiful sunset out there. So Steve, any words for our audience where they can find? So it's teslatech.info is the website where you guys can find more information. Anything you want to promote or share with the audience?
Well, we have a membership, it's just $35 a year, and we're going to have a conference at the same time here in Albuquerque, probably at this hotel. And I would like to see you come here next year. And
I would love to come here again next year. We should really hype up next year's conference and see if we can kick COVID's butt and get a much bigger turnout. That would be great.
And we have new frontiers starting to emerge. You know, you got the anti-gravity, but now the question is, do we really need anti-gravity? Like what happens when you do quantum pairing, where you twist the ends and you take one atom and put it, like say in Mars, and put one here. And then according to quantum theory, they should be able to instantaneously interact with each other. So if we push it here, we'll push the one on Mars instantaneously, which means a whole new world of communication theory, a whole new world of interstellar travel, and Star Wars and Star Trek is on the way.
Well, I hope so. There are some issues that have been raised in the physics community with that. The no teleportation theorem, no communication theorem, the no copying theorem, no destroying theorem. There's a whole bunch of them in the whole realm of quantum information theory when you get into that entanglement business and stuff, and whether, because there's a big debate on whether actually information or signals can be sent instantaneously through quantum entanglement and or not. But quantum entanglement, certainly we've reached the age of quantum entanglement, and it's opened up some really new avenues for understandings in physics, certainly for moving forward in the future, regardless of where people stand on the beliefs of over those theorems and how and potential ways of violating that the quantum information theory. But it's certainly an interesting universe. Conceptually, it seems like everything is connected in this universe. I feel like I learn about one thing and here at the conference, and then suddenly I just see it all over the place, and it's suddenly it comes into view, like things that people talked about last night, and then I'll learn about the next morning, and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much connections that we find, and it's great finding this group of people that you've brought together. Been doing this 40 years, ladies and gentlemen, and he has really man, it's great the amount of the kinds of people that you meet at these conferences, and I of course came 12 years ago, and I'm glad to be back now. But if this can keep up, I will definitely come back next year. I had such a great time here. I had such a great time 12 years ago, and the only reason I didn't come for so long in between is because I live on the East Coast, and it's difficult for me to get out here. But I think if we get enough user support for this conference and what we're doing here, we can certainly get more people to support this conference and support us and what you're doing.
I'd like to see you next year, but right now I have to go because people want to eat and I have to give them permission.
Great, let's get a photo. Your whole head's in the way, Mark.
Oh, sorry.
You couldn't see how I was like.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Later, Steve, man. Thank you. Mike, you want to move over? Get in here. Mike Gamble. This is
111, right? 111.
Sadly.
It's paper crane or something like that.
Yeah, that's my crafting channel, but my
That was your name
channel
on
is
Twitter.
Alien. That was my name on Twitter. It's but you should be able to find me at Alien Girl 111 on Twitter and YouTube. But yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to hear everyone's story and so happy to connect. Like the Tesla Tech Conference is huge. And what I really like about the Tesla Tech Conference that I really want to promote is that you guys let teenagers come here for free.
Yeah.
So all the teenagers out there watching this, you guys can register today. You can come tomorrow. And I highly recommend, if you have any STEM interest at all, that you come down here. because if you come down here, you're gonna come across stuff that you did not believe was fact-based, but it is. There's a lot of fact-based stuff that we think is still pseudoscience, and it's not. Teenagers, sign up, register for free, come tomorrow and listen to some intelligent minds that have the truth to give you. Okay, we don't need to get started.
Yes.
This is why I have my own show. Go subscribe to Alien Girl 111.
Yes, I met Alien Girl on from Lewis sorry, Luis Jimenez is the Big Phone Home. When he hosted the Big Phone Home, it brought a whole bunch of people in this community together, and that's where I first met Amy through Luis Jimenez at the Big Phone Home. So a big shout out to you guys over at the Big Phone Home. The Big Phone Home 2 is coming up soon. We're going to be urging people to calling your congressmen, calling your senators, and urging them to get informed and get up to date on the issue of UAP and UFOs and the science and technology and disclosure. Disclosure is happening, and we're pushing that front on the scientific level to really try to reach the new audiences and of course the teenagers and the young generation to educate them and bring our future, knowing that you kids are going to grow up to see way more amazing things than I saw in my life. I was a child of the 80s. I grew up before we had cell phones. I used to, have to come home when the street lights came on, and I'd have to go to my friend's house to use their phone to call home. And it didn't have GPS. I used to have to go to MapQuest. But even this, I mean, that was when the internet was, of course, when I was like 18 and first started driving. But yeah, imagine like when we used to have a yes. So
maps in my briefcase when I did traveling, and an airline reschedule guide. Yeah,
And Mike is, although he's pretty good looking, he's a lot older than he looks.